Hi Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStampingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make another fun fold card. Now this one opens up from the front, so you have the front that looks like this, and then you open up the front little panel here and it reveals another message inside. And then I went ahead and added it to a full-size card base, so it opens up another time for the message on the inside of the card. But I got this idea from a card that was sent to me from Leslie, and this is her card. Isn't it beautiful? And the front opens up like that, but then her card is on a card front, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then you flip it over and you can write your message on that. And I went ahead and did this one, which is just like Leslie's. So the card opens up like that, and then you flip it over and you have the Christmas message right there. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and make the full-size card today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let me give you all the pieces that we're going to be using today. We have the card base. I'm going to be using the cherry cobbler, and this piece is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then a piece of Whisper White, which is for the inside, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then for the front, we're using a piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then a piece of gold foil sheet, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then let me give you the measurements of the greeting, because I went ahead already and stamped that and put that together. So let's start with the Whisper White. That piece is cut at 1 1/8 by 2 5/8. The cherry cobbler is cut at 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then the gold foil sheet is cut at 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. And then you're also going to need a piece of designer paper. I'm using the Be Merry designer paper. It's double-sided. Super cute. And this piece is cut at 5 1/4 by 12. So let's grab our paper trimmer. Okay, so we're going to be cutting at a diagonal. So on the 5 1/4 inch side, yep, that's 5 1/4, we're going to make a point or a mark with our pencil at a halfway point at the bottom. So halfway is, say, 2 1/2, so 2 5/8 would be approximately half of the 5 1/4. So I'm just making a little pencil mark at the end. So now we're going to cut at a diagonal from this point to that pencil line we just made. I'm just lining that up on my track of my paper trimmer. Okay, so we're going to cut at a diagonal. Okay, so before we cut the other diagonal, we better score this. I forgot to do that first. So we're going to score this at 4. Let me get my bone folder. Okay, so we're going to score this at 4 inches and 8. So make sure you score first before you cut, because it's a lot harder to score, especially when you need a straight line if it's cut at a diagonal. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut at a diagonal part on the other side. So point to the pencil mark again. Okay, cut that. So now it should look like that. Okay. Okay, so now this is going to be the toughest part. What side do you want to show out the most? Now the most would be like this part here. So it would be the base of the designer paper. So you want the larger piece, the one that you like the best. I don't know. So let's just see what it's going to look like. So if we fold it in like a Z fold, so do you like it like that? Or do you like it like this? So it's really up to you. I think I'm going to do it like this with the cherry cobbler section on the base. Okay, let me burnish the edges a little bit more. Okay, so next we're going to do some stamping. Let me show you the stamp sets we're going to use. For the greeting on the inside of the flap and also on the inside of the card, I'm using Nature Sings, beautiful stamp set. And this is the Carols of Christmas. Now this is also available in a bundle if you want to buy both the thinlits and the stamp set, and you can save 10%. So we're using both of those stamp sets. Okay, so we're going to use the Whisper White, and I'm going to use the cherry cobbler, and we're going to use the Peace on Earth. Stamp that. It's beautiful. Okay, then we're also going to stamp Wishes for a Beautiful Christmas. I'm going to use the punch for that. Beautiful. All right, so let's grab our Big Shot. Okay, so first we're going to take our gold foil sheet. I'm going to do some punching with the Big Shot and then also with their punches before we actually layer our card together, so we don't waste all this center section right here. So we're going to use the square framelits. I'm going to use these 3 sizes right here. And I'm going to use the largest one for the gold foil sheet. And I'm going to punch the center out of that. Okay, so we have our layer. And then this piece is also going to be punched out with the circle punch. So we'll do that in a second. Let's finish punching out our greeting. Now we're going to use these 2 sizes, but we're going to use the smallest to punch out the piece on earth. Fits in that size perfect. Okay, so now we're going to use the cherry cobbler. We're going to cut out the next size up in the square. Okay, so we have all our pieces cut out. Let's move the Big Shot. Okay, let's bring in our pieces. Now let's grab our punches. We're going to punch out the greeting with the 1 3/8 circle punch. Wishes for a beautiful Christmas. Then I'm going to use the 1 1/2 circle punch with the cherry cobbler. We're going to punch that out with the center because this piece is going to layer over that. You won't even see that hole. And the same thing with the gold foil sheet. We're going to punch out the 1 3/4 circle. I think that was, yeah, the 1 1/2 inch circle punch with the cherry cobbler, and then the 1 3/4 with the gold foil sheet. So we have all our pieces. Now we're just going to go ahead and start layering. Okay, so now this gold piece is going to layer onto the Whisper White section. Okay, then we're going to take our front of our card with the designer paper. We're going to put adhesive on this section back here. And then this is going to layer corner to corner. So this is why it was cut at 5 1/4, because our gold piece was cut at 5 1/4. So the points should line up perfectly. Just like that. So pretty. Then we're going to layer this onto the base. So pretty. Okay, so now I trimmed off the point right here on my card. Let me show you on Leslie's. Now she kept the point here, but on mine I just trimmed that off. So it's kind of tucked underneath the greeting. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. And it doesn't really matter how much, as long as it's, you got enough to adhere down on the one side, just like that. So then your flap is going to open up like this. Okay, and then your greeting is going to be over to the right hand side on that edge. So let's go ahead and add that. I'm going to put adhesive on this section here. So pretty. And then see, the circles don't show through the back side. Okay, so now let's add the Whisper White to the inside. Our greeting. Put that right there. Okay, now we're going to put our other greeting underneath this panel right here. I'm going to put adhesive on that. Just put that right there. And then see, it covers it up with that flap. Isn't that a beautiful card? Okay, Okay, so there's the cherry cobbler version. And then here's the garden green. Same card, I just changed the colors, the garden green and then the green of the designer paper. And then the garden green classic ink. And then here's the one that's like Leslie's, that's just the card front with the greeting on the back side, which you can sign there. And then here's Leslie's card. So beautiful. Thank you, Leslie. I love your card. Okay, so I have all the items used on today's card listed below. And then also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.